Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Art Classes My Way. This video is going to be framed a little differently, so you're going to see these sides. We're going to be doing some pretty big motions, so I want you to be able to see everything. And as you all probably know, anybody who's seen my videos on a moderately regular basis, or you just happen to choose the wrong ones, I'm known for getting things out of frame, so I'm going to combat that a little bit. So what we're making today is a sanding stick. We are making our own tools, so that way we can do a different variety of things. This is not so much a wire weaver's tool as much as it is just a jewelry smithing tool. And even probably those with polyclay that deal with polyclay a lot, they could probably also benefit from this as well. So this is a sanding stick. It's 320 grit this side. This side had already been pre-made before I'd ever gotten a hold of it, so I'm not really sure what this side is, but I'm sure it's like a 400 or something. And this is pretty much what we're using. Now, if you've ever tried to sand anything, if you're sanding with your fingers are soft. So whenever you're sanding something, your fingers are going to conform to every little divot and every little groove that's in the metal. In order to combat that, like especially if you've been hammering and whatnot, to combat that, what we do is we use a sanding stick, which will, it's solid. It can't conform to grooves terribly often at all. And it allows for a smooth surface, but instead of like just putting the paper down on a table and then trying to sand with it, it doesn't really work out very well. This allows you to hold the piece in your hand and then going in the same direction, so that way you don't accidentally, an over exaggeration, you don't end up getting swirls. You want it to go smoothly, perfectly. And even if you go back and forth, that's still going to create a scratch mark pattern that is not very appealing and not very smooth. So the point with the sanding stick is to use it almost on even barreled objects, to use it in a motion similar to that, which will give you a constant, grain effect going over the piece and allow it to be a nice smooth surface and take out any dings and dents and whatever hammering you've done. So that's what we're going to make, and these are fairly cheap to make. Just go to any hardware store that sells paint and get yourself some paint sticks. Go and get yourself some sandpaper. I bought this stuff. Comes with a variety, and you can make more than one set of sanding sticks with it. And I just take this guy, line him up to the edges. Come in with the X-Acto. Taking a little bit out of the wood there. Should just be able to cut the paper. Give it a little fold. Did a better job at the other end. And there we have the stick ready to go. So this is pretty simple stuff, obviously. Now from here, I'm going to take some Elmer's rubber cement. I don't think I've ever used Elmer brand rubber cement before, so this will be new for me. Get this jarred open. So nice goopy rubber cement. Rubber cement is perfect. What you don't want to necessarily, especially if you're on a budget, you don't want to use just regular glue, because then you won't be able to peel this stuff off when it's time to change out your sandpaper. Rubber cement actually allows you to do that, and it holds really, really well. And if it's not holding well for you and the paper constantly keeps coming off, you might not be using the sanding stick for its intended purpose, or you might have applied the rubber cement incorrectly. But it should be able to stick just fine for just about any job you need. So I'm going to put myself a nice little layer on the sanding, or the stick itself. And this is not an advertisement for Lowe's. And I'm going to put it on the another sandpaper here. I believe this is 80p. Yep, 80p. And now you just pretty much let it dry. And then once this is dried, it's kind of like that tacky stuff, like if you've ever bought something, or like a gift card, and it's stuck to the backer paper, whatever it is that you bought it off of, and then you got those kind of like boogers on the back. That's kind of what this is. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but that's the way it behaves. So as soon as this dries, we just take it, plop it on, and there you go. And once you're done with that, what you're going to want to do is take a Sharpie, and you're going to want to put on the handle like what I did with this one when I replaced the this side. You're going to want to put what grit it is just to help you out. I'm going to go ahead and prep the other side so that way I have 120, because that would be the next step down. Yeah, it moved a little bit, but that's all right. We'll survive. Now, if you don't get this stuff on too thick, the rubber cement, it dries pretty quickly. This is already dried, but there's some areas that it was a little bit thicker as far as goopiness goes. Let's see if I can get a shine to show you there. But overall, that's pretty fine, and the wood's pretty much absorbed everything on that side. So let's just go ahead and flip him over. And we should stick our little bottoms down right where we're supposed to be. And then we'll just let that finish on that side and go ahead and plaster this side. Now, even sanding sticks will warp a little bit, especially since this is how paint sticks used to be made. Yeah, that guy ain't gonna curl on you at all. But these thinner ones, they do curl a little bit. But even then, when you're putting pressure on them on a surface, they're not going to give into little divoted areas, so they'll still function just fine for our intended purposes, even if they did start to curl just a tiny bit. And we'll just give that a few minutes. And I'll be right back. And first verse, same as the first. And there we have it. Sanding sticks. Cheap, easy to do. You don't have to go and buy them online. And this method with using the rubber cement, you can peel these off and then put down a new one and just keep on going with the sanding stick you currently have. It's a long time before you actually have to replace the actual wood bit itself. So, cheap, simple, easy way to make your own jewelry smithing tools. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, do all those wonderful things you guys do. I do have a Patreon. If you guys would be wanting to help donate to my channel to keep it going, and if not that, then I do also have an Etsy where you can get something for your money, I kind of feel. It's just weird to kind of ask for money, but yet here I am doing it, I know. But if you can't do that, sharing and giving likes and making comments and stuff also helps out a great deal too. So just do whatever you can. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out, and I hope to see you guys later.